This is Colleen here. Welcome back, Colleen Clan, or if you're new, then come join the family. You've stumbled upon an extremely rare, not cosplay related video from Colleen Cosplay. We're gonna be talking about typewriters. Backstory, why am I making a video about typewriters? This actually has to do with my disability. So you may be aware that my disability affects the cartilage in my joints. So the cartilage damage in my knees is why I use crutches or a wheelchair. But the thing you don't notice as much is the cartilage damage in my hands. And this makes a lot of everyday tasks extremely difficult. Things like opening jars or hand sewing and even handwriting. I'm hoping typewriters can be a more accessible alternative to handwriting. Now wait, I know what you're thinking. Why don't I just use a laptop or a phone? Like, come on, we're living in modern times. Why would I go to a typewriter? The truth is, you don't realize how much you use handwriting until it becomes difficult to use handwriting. For example, imagine you had some very tasty leftovers and you're in some sort of communal setting, like you have roommates, coworkers, whatever. You don't want them to eat your leftovers, as you should. Are you going to fire up your laptop, open up Word, type in "do not eat," print it out on your printer, and then tape that onto your leftovers and put it in the fridge? I don't think many people would do that. They'd probably just scribble something on a napkin and put it on their leftovers. There's a lot of different situations like this where we actually use handwriting without even thinking about it. But another thing is, I also think handwriting is just way more personal than typing something out on a computer. So I sell my used costumes. I have a whole video about resale if you want to know what that's about. But whenever someone buys a costume from me, I very much want to include a personalized note. It says thank you, and it also explains if the costume can go through the washer or the dryer or how to iron it, stuff like that. And I don't want to lose that personalized feeling to these thank you notes. But also I am realizing they're becoming more and more legible. Like, my handwriting is getting very difficult to read due to my hand joints just being bad. So I'm really hoping by the end of this video, I will be able to learn how to use a typewriter, and I will be able to write cute little thank you notes on a typewriter, which, while not as personal as handwriting, I think still comes across more personal than typing a document up in Word. And I'm going to be able to use that for all my costume sales in the future, and hopefully it won't be as difficult on my hands, and absolutely it will be more legible. So, Colleen, how'd you learn so much about typewriters? I didn't. I know nothing about typewriters. These are not even my typewriters. So I actually am bringing in a very special guest who has some typewriter expertise. Please welcome to the stage my husband, Mr.Colleen Cosplay! Woo!
Well, thanks for having me on the show, babe.
Okay, so this is my husband. You've seen him in the background of some of my vlogs. I have finally, after years of marriage, convinced him to come into a sit-down video. So I wanted to ask you a few questions about typewriters.
Sure.
What does typewriters look like as a hobby? Like, what do you do? Do you just collect them and look at them? Do you type on them?
So it really depends on the type of person that you are. Generally, you have several different people. You have hobbyists, people who like to use them for their own writing, or they use them for scrapbooking, or like what you're talking about before, using the paper to write notes or you know, do cute little art projects.
Yeah.
And then there's people who collect them just for their aesthetic beauty. I like to use them for creative writing, for journaling, and I also love using them just as decor pieces. They just make the room look nice and vintage.
What about maintenance, repair, stuff like that? Do you just get these at antique shops?
Most of these I've found at antique shops. You'll occasionally find them at yard sales. And for the most part, a lot of these don't require a whole lot of work in order to get them to work. Normally you just have to give them a good clean, stick some paper in there, maybe buy a new ribbon for it, and it'll work just fine. Some of the ones that I buy tend to be a little bit more worse for wear. I enjoy working on a little tinker project. But for the most part, these things are built like tanks. They were built to last. And you know, most of these machines that I have are, you know, 60, 70 years old, and they still all work.
Nice. And Could you also tell the Colleen clan how many typewriters are in our home?
12? 12?
12? So we're just going to be picking out the ones that you feel are the easiest to type on. So for people with hand mobility, these ones you think would be easiest for me.
Right, and big things are definitely making sure they're easy to type on. The other thing is weight. I mean, a lot of these are built of steel or cast iron, so they're not light. And so having something that's easy to get around is also a big, consideration. Like say that one that's on the end right there, it may not be the easiest one to type on, but if you're just doing smaller, shorter little notes, it works just fine.
Yeah,
you
even
can
I
actually
can lift
carry
this.
it around, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna start out on this one because I think it's really cute. Nice pastel mint color, fits my aesthetic. This one is the Hermes Rocket.
So this is a 1940s Royal Quiet Deluxe.
Here's my cute stationery for my cosplay sales. Show me how you put that in.
Okay, so ours will be a little bit different, but the basic concept will be the same. So typically what you'll want to do is you'll want to move these little rollers. Yours doesn't have it.
I don't have rolls. Okay.
So you'll move them so that they fit. You'll take your paper and you'll stick it in the back, right there.
Here?
Yep, anywhere you want. And then you just roll it.
It's kind of like a sewing machine wheel.
Yep.
Oh, did I put mine in backwards?
Yes.
We both put it in backwards.
We both put it in backwards. The other thing that you can do is you can flip this little switch. Yours is right there.
Okay.
And you can just pull it out and it disengages. So if you want this to be at the top of your thing, you're going to want that to be upside down and facing away from the typewriter.
This.
Yep.
Okay, and
you just drop it in.
Oh, I'm rolling it the wrong way. There we go. Mine's a little crooked.
Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take this guy and you're going to flip it up. Okay, and you're going to push the paper forward. And there you go. So one thing you might notice though is your paper is not straight.
Yeah, mine's kind of ugly.
So it would be very crooked if you tried to type with it like that. So what you can do is, remember that switch that we did before? You flip that out and you can just...
Oh, like adjust it.
Yep, you can adjust it
that's
so
easier.
that it gets to the right. You flip it back and it's got tension on it again.
Ah, it's like the sewing machine presser for...
Yep.
This is basically a sewing machine, but
Okay.
for words.
And now when you got that, you can kind of adjust it back to roughly where you want.
Okay.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to set the margins, because right now they're set for full-size paper and you'll just keep typing all the way off. And you want to have that bell sound that tells you when you're at the end.
Right.
So with this machine, they are manually adjusted using these guys right here.
Okay.
So it's super easy. You just push these in and you move them to where you want the words
bell
to end. Now it's...
Oh, that's a
It
cute
stops
sound.
where you want.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So now you're essentially ready to type.
Am I typing right here right now? Or
So-
do I need to move it?
It takes a little bit of getting used to figure out where you want the line to be, but in order to get to the beginning of the line, you just push it.
It stops. Okay, then I can start typing.
Yep.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Katie. Oh, and then you do this to go to the next line. Do you do capital letters?
Yes. So what you can do is you press on this, and that's your shift, and this is your shift lock if you want to do all caps, like you're
if you wanna
screaming.
yell.
Yeah, if you want to yell. And then if
Okay.
you want to release that, you just press that button again,
Okay.
and away you go.
So I can say, welcome back, Colleen Clan. So right now, the words are being cut through by the line on this note paper. How do I make the words stay on the line, or is there no way to like space them out?
So unfortunately, there's a way to space out the lines, but there's not necessarily a way to tell exactly
If it's
where
gonna
you're
be
gonna
on the line.
where it's going to be on the line. In terms of line spacing, this little control right here allows you to go between single space and double space.
So I could maybe get closer to being on the...
Yep.
Oh, there you go. See, now I'm closer to the line, I think. Let's switch typewriters then, and let's see if that one's easier to type on. This one, I can type on it. I just have to kind of like attack it like a gorilla.
Yeah, you do on some of these.
Hello.
Oh, you missed the E.
It's just very, very faint. I feel like my right hand is stronger. Just everyone who knows anything about typewriters is like cringing as I just come down on.
No, that's you can use a typewriter however you want.
So the big question is, if I make a whoopsie, like here, I didn't put a space between welcome and back. What do you do on a typewriter if you mess up? Do you just throw it away?
Oh, you're screwed.
Yeah, okay.
There is no backspace. What you can do.
Because they use whiteout, right?
Yes, you can use whiteout, but whiteout is extremely messy. And if you're just doing a small little note like this,
it'd be easier to just restart.
It's usually easier just to restart.
Okay.
One thing I will say though is when you're actually typing something and you're being careful about not getting typos, that's where it's very similar to handwriting with a pen.
That's fair.
You have to slow down and you really have to think about what it is that you're going to write. And that's kind of where some of the personality comes in when you're writing, is you really have to slow down, especially with some of these machines where it's a little bit harder to type on them. You can't just fly away like you can on a normal keyboard. You have to really put some energy into slapping that letter and slapping those words onto the page.
That's fair. When I handwrite my notes for the cosplay sales, if I mess up, I also just throw away the note and restart, because I don't want to give someone a note that has like a scribble on it.
Well, tell you what we'll do is we'll move to this last one. This one I would say is the easiest one to type on. It feels the most like a keyboard. And what I'll let you do is I'll let you set it up, do everything from the top, and see what you learned.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, here's our third typewriter. It's an Olympia. I think this one looks most like a keyboard to me. I don't know what it is, but it looks most like a actual computer.
It's much more modern than the last ones we were looking at. The last ones that we were looking at were from the 40s and the 50s. This one is from the mid 60s.
Okay.
So it's got a little bit more tech behind it.
Nice. Let's try the modern technology of the 60s. Okay, shift would be here. Or here. This is the yelling.
That's the
key.
lock.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, this one is like way, way easier than all the other ones.
Yeah.
Can you type past the bell?
You can. What you do is when you get to the bell, what you do is you press MR. MR stands for margin release. And what that'll do is it will disengage the stop that keeps you from typing on, and you can type as far as you want.
Okay, so here's our lineup. This is my handwriting. Pretty bad. It's much worse the longer it goes. And this is the most painful. And then this one is the Hermes rocket, which I think is the cutest. I really wanted this one to work because it's very cute. But you can see how like I just can't press down hard enough. Like some of the words aren't there. And this is the black one, the Royal Deluxe. This one, I think is about, actually looks about the same. Yeah, these look about the same amount of bad. And then this last one was the Olympia, the one that looked like a computer keyboard. And this one, all the words are very clear. The results are in. This is our winner. This one wins the cutest award. I think this is the cutest one. This is the only one I can really type on and have all the letters come clear. So this is the one. So if you guys buy any of my costumes, be expecting a typewriter written note. This gives me a lot of hope because look, you don't realize how much you use handwriting until it's very difficult and everything's illegible, and this gives me hope for little handwritten notes. So thank you to our guest star.
Thanks for having me, guys.
And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!
Oh, you're at the end of the line.
Oh!
You'd have to hit the margin release.
Oops, I don't want to scream. Look at his smiling face. first. The
Here,
most.
start over. I went in the...
No, your arm's still.
Sorry.
There you go. There you go.